Good morning, April 15th, 2024. Artie Lang reporting from the gorgeous $6.69 fighting. Jim Harbaugh, University of Michigan National Championship Studio. On the 33rd floor, overlooking beautiful Lake Superior. Bitcoin crashed 2.36%. $8,000 over the weekend. Let's ask ourselves, how did old Vincenzo short the Bitcoin top? When did Vincenzo know the top was in on BTC, and what were the indicators? Vincenzo sniffed out and looked for the fleece heist and Chieste, the criminal gangsters and market manipulators, Jackie the Joke Man Marlene, and the obese, 600-pound alcoholic Artie Lang. Need you to smash like button, subscribe to the channel, and share to spread and grow. The #1 XRP insider with the truth and integrity, peace and love.
Subscribe down below. Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing. Good 15th of April, 2024. Steadily marching our way through the end of the month on a gorgeous, glowing, sunny, beautiful, gorgeous blue skies, early spring in the greater Bloomington metropolitan area in central Illinois. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous day here after a volatile cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and the rest of them weekend. The Bitcoin price is down 1.97% or $1,292 after the hook-nosed Jew bearish reversal pattern that we'll get into. The XLM's down 2.37%. The H-bar, the XRP, the AMP, the Ethereum Classic, the Shiba Coin, the XDC, the ZIL, the CLO, and the Matic are all down. They've all been beat down, suppressed, and overted by the retail and criminal gangster cartel. And you need to be out ahead of that with a bell notification. Comment down below, subscribe, and share to get the #1 XRP cryptocurrency gold and silver bullion insider here on social media and exclusively on YouTube on a 75-degree current temperature here at the Central Illinois Airport in Bloomington, right? And if we get on into these coins, you can see the Bitcoin price had a phenomenal flush over the weekend. It had better than 8% or $6,000 at one point in about an hour in the middle of this right there during the mid-afternoon Saturday. Everything flushed. Some of these smaller market cap shyster coins collapsed better than 40-50% in an hour. They did make up some of the gains on this rally, but the last video on the Bitcoin price that we made was down here where there was the consolidation. It was after the bottom. If we go into the 45-minute to get more specific here, because this has to be a quick video. I am at work, just pre-lunch hour, tagging some rental equipment. But we were down in here after the flush coming off the low, and it tapped this major area of support. And if we zoom out really, really quick and get rid of that, we know what that major area of support is in the daily time frame. It is the rising channel, right there. And we were back testing it for the first time since we broke out of it in the bullish pump back here centered around February of the 26th. And we had the hyper pump and then this rising channel here. This is the first time now, about a month and a half later, we retested it. And on the big dump, we came beautifully down to it right on top of that old upper resistance that it's retesting for the first time as lower support. And you can see where we had written down, we telegraphed this prior to any of this dump. We had this green line right here. You see this green line? You see in this green line that I'm pointing at? That green line right there. Yep, that green line next to the deleted circle. We had this when the price was up here, where old Vincenzo took out his short back here where the big arrows pointed to when the Bitcoin price was up there. He didn't short it on leverage. He took the inverse ETF. We drew down where you would likely have a flush from if we go into the 2-hour time frame, down to the bottom up, the uptrending major lower support now that used to be upper resistance of the rising channel. You would come down, retest it, and then have classic hook-nosed Jew bearish reversal pattern back up to the 65,849.94. Then you come back and slip it, then get a bounce back in the step down. And look at that. It came down, touched it beautifully, wicked back up. Classic hook-nosed Jew bearish reversal pattern right there. It's classic. Telegraphed beautifully. If you looked it up in the playbook, that is a classic hook-nosed Jew bearish reversal with a flush. Then you get the big rounding hook, and then you flush even harder, and then you come back down and back test it and then you get rejected again, just like you're back testing here, and could get rejected as it looks like it is right now. And that's what we have to watch out for. If you want to stay bullish, you have to hold this as a double bottom and then rally past the 65,000, come back on top of it, hold it as support, and continue to trade to the upside. Or we told you about, you can see we're up 3.67%. We're in at $7.68 at 250 shares. We're up 4.71%. And this is about day 13 or day 14 right now of being in that BITI. You can buy it on any of your discount trading houses, Coinbase, not Coinbase, Robinhood, TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, anything like that where you buy traditional stocks. You can purchase that. And we did make that purchase back here where this big arrow is. You can see we're not saying we got the top. We bought it right into there. I don't know the exact price. It wasn't the exact peak there. It was somewhere right in there when it was peaking and valleying in there. We didn't hit the exact top. The top was all the way up here at 73,000. We got in at about 70,000 on the short, 70,200 and change. So we did not hit the top, right? The top was up here, and we got in about 5% below the top. And then we've been up, and we've been down, and we've been up again in the overall price as this has continued to top out. But we haven't got nervous. We haven't left our game plan, because to me, I believe this is breaking to the downside, and it'll bring the rest of the market briefly down. And I think just like we drew here before we had this flush over the weekend, I think we have a date before we make a new all-time high with at least a retest of the major underneath support of the actual rising channel at 49,259.96 and uptrending. And then if you break that, you could come all the way down to the 37,000 and change mark. And then briefly going along here, and I got to get through with this video, the XLM broke this 12.5 cents, and we knew if it broke that 12.5 cents, we had a likely target of 7.5 cents. The top part of that orange trading zone, a la get my shit together, last line of defense to the shit house, right? And now we're trying to do that hook nose Jew bearish reversal, but 12.5 cents is a much bigger pump in the XLM price from where the Bitcoin came down from. But I think we're eventually coming down here before we retest anything up there. And if we zoom in a little bit closer into the 4-hour time frame, you can see we are doing the classic hook nose Jew bearish reversal pattern, just not coming up to a full lateral pump. Maybe doesn't look like, could it still do it? Yes. But right now it looks like the bulls or the buyers are starting to run out of steam, and I would be paying attention for the 7.5 cents down here. If you want to get bullish, you got to break above this 12.5 cents and hold it as support, and then you're short-term bullish, right? The ALGO, we had a big flush after we came back below, struggled to get back above that red trading zone, and we know when we're below it, it likes to get rejected, and it had a huge flush, greater than 25%, had a nice return rally since, but I think this is coming back down too. And I think we're going to retest some of the lows that this started from. And I think it's going to give most, if not all of that gang back, the 200% rally that it had. The XRP is the same thing. It continues to break down. It's struggling here. It almost came to that 37 cents. Didn't come to the 37 cents. Came back up to the rising channel. It is now hovering for desperate and dear life at the bottom part of the last line of the support level. Right now, after it broke back into it, it's holding it and trying to back test it and hold it and rally. But if it comes back through and flushes, it's going to confirm a breakdown out of this, because it couldn't hold coming back in after the flash wick, right? It couldn't hold it. And it flash crashed, and then it came back up in the big hook nose bearish reversal pattern right here. And if it can't hold this here in this up and sideways consolidation, this is a very bearish consolidation after a flush. It's a very bullish consolidation to continue to the downside, to continue the bearish move. And if you slip this and now you've confirmed a breakdown because you couldn't hold the break back up, your next underneath target is one that we've been talking about forever, and we've just been bringing it back into now at 37 cents. And it would happen fairly quickly. If you do break down and come down here, you'd come down to 37 cents very, very quickly, because this is a major trading area that we've been trading in, just like the Bitcoin price, for the better part of a year and a half in this rising channel that started when you broke initially into it back around May-ish of 2022, and now we're threatening to break out of it. And we did wick out of it for the first time in a long time on April of 2024, right? April the 15th-ish. And if you break that, 37 cents is a done deal. You're coming down to it. You almost got down to it. You came down to about 41 cents. And then I think you are having a date with destiny, like we talked about way in the far back, the zoomed out left machine back here when we were all in here struggling for dear life. We knew the next leg to the downside was into this 18 to 23 cent range, the VP volume indicator, the area of death, because you haven't slipped below this major critical level. And if we zoom back out and held it as bearish confirmation since the COVID, right? And look what happened during the COVID. This is very critical. The last time you slipped below this 28 to 32 VP volume indicator, critical meaning of the volume, you dropped a fast, quick industry measuring tool exclusive. You swiftly dropped after breaking that critical area 65.69% in the matter of a few short couple of months, in a humongous crippling bear market that brought you to a capitulation low of about 11.3 cents. And that is something that you would have to watch out for if you do slip this VP volume indicator. Like, subscribe, and share. Peace and love.